this one here. Listen up. So many times in my life.
Thank you all for joining me this evening for another episode of The Room. I'm so excited about my guest tonight. I have with me the Smith family. I particularly wanted to talk to them because I wanted to know what it's like for them being biracial in this country. Now, let me give you this disclaimer. They are not monolithic. They are not here to speak to everyone's experience who may be biracial. This is their unique experience, and we are just going to dive deep into their lives. So please help me welcome Lauren, Nate, and Shelly. How y'all doing?
Good.
So excited to have you all on the show tonight. So I want to play a little game with you all first. I have a list of questions, and I just want you to blurt out who you think it applies to. Okay?
Got you.
Got me? Okay, so question number one. Who's the favorite child?
Me.
Oh! They don't know.
I think it's Nate.
Okay,
Two out of three. Two out of three. Okay. So Nate may be the favorite. Who does better in school?
Nate.
I do.
Oh, unanimous. Who's more popular?
Me.
I would probably
Oh,
say
they
Shelly.
hesitate.
Maybe Shelly.
Shelly's more
You
popular.
see, I was only like,
Yeah, she's like, that's me. Hello. Okay. Who takes longer to get ready?
him.
No.
You do.
You're late to everything.
Everything.
She has a kid, okay? We're gonna
Four kids.
I was trying to help you out, Shelly.
I'm poor.
I was trying to help her out.
She's only on time to work.
Everything else they handing out cash.
I'll let them have that. I'll let them have that.
Okay. I think I know the answer to this one. Who watched the most TV?
Pre-COVID or post-COVID?
Let's do pre and post.
I still say him.
It would probably be pre.
He finds the shows and I binge watch with him.
Oh. Shelly just put her business out there.
Yeah.
Nate don't. Because I for sure was going to say Shelly because she binge watched. What show was that?
Greenleaf.
She binge watched that in 2 days.
Literally, it was like a week, the entire series.
See, I thought it was going to be Shelly. They proved me wrong. Okay. Who is the most annoying?
Him.
This one.
I say we all.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it's not annoying. I know what to do to get under their skin.
That's what siblings do.
No, it's not. It's
Alright.
control.
Control.
It's not annoying, it's control.
Okay.
Unpack that a little bit.
When you can change people's behavior based on what you're doing to them, then you're controlling what they're doing. So when I'm doing things and I know it makes these two
Or
mad,
you're just a behavior analysis.
No, I see what he's saying. You may think it's annoying, but for him it's control.
because then I can switch it off. Hey, how you doing? Are you good?
Wow. I think you just gave away a secret.
Hey.
It's still.
Please don't take
I have
that.
a whole toolbox.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so who talks more?
Me.
Shelly.
Yeah.
Shelly talks more. Okay.
Listen, Gina, when we were kids, driving from Cass to South Bend to church on Lincoln Way, she would talk the whole way. My dad would count to 3 every time she took a breath, and after when he got to 3, she would start back up again.
You just gonna tell them my business?
All your business.
All of it. We gonna
We're
dig
in
in
the room.
tonight. We are in the room. Welcome to the room. Okay, but all your business is told.
Yes.
Who's the hardest worker?
Yeah.
Lauren works hard. She's the baby, and she
Yeah.
works hard.
I'll give you props for that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's good. Usually they say the youngest is the
I
they're the
am
most
she is
spoiled.
the
I'm
most spoiled.
spoiled,
She
but
is.
But
I
she
did
work hard.
start
Yeah.
working 16. I started working and now I'm just like a big girl job and deal with big girl job and deal with some tough things on the job. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to get arrested?
Me?
You.
Look, I
Look, Lauren for the tiebreaker.
Me?
don't. Sometimes you just talk to so it'll just.
Your mouth would get you arrested.
Yes.
Girl, I don't agree
Look,
with either one of them.
remember your fender bender, and you was like not trying to hear what the officer's trying to say. He's like, "You lucky, you not about to get a ticket." And I'm
Wow.
sitting there like, "Please
Don't
don't
look at her
take
like
her to jail."
I don't even know what they're talking about.
Oh, okay.
She was so irate at that time and hostile that she blacked out. She
Yeah.
didn't remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
no,
that.
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Because you had lyrics.
I could have become a case that day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad she got the Holy
Me
Ghost.
I
too.
do. I am
And
too.
that she uses it.
Because the
She
the Lord
forgot that
covered
day.
it. He covered that.
So who's more likely to get a speeding ticket? Who got the lead foot?
Probably
me.
her.
Yeah.
I would say Lauren.
I got it.
Yeah, you drive like a grandma.
No, she used to be a
She used to be a speed
used
demon.
to be the speed
I
demon.
used to.
Now I
calmed
got
down
places
since I
to
had
go.
Lyra,
Move
so
out the way.
You like, get out the way. Okay. Who has better taste in music?
Me.
Yeah.
Unless you want to get ratchet, then it's me.
Okay.
My baby making music, so.
No, he's Clark's sisters. And
No,
that side.
if it's a Sunday, yes. Or in the morning before everybody gets up for work, then it's like,
You get your mind right.
yeah.
But after
And
work-
after work, it's on and popping. What's up?
So wait, so you only listen to the Lord's music on the way to church, like to get prepared.
Oh, no.
And then when church over, what you listening to in the parking lot? Leave it.
Oh, whatever comes on the playlist.
No, I still put church on the radio leaving the church.
No, when I plug my
As soon as I
you
get off
hit
the
the light.
property,
Once you hit that light,
I gotta
church
hurry
on
and
and
turn
popping.
it down. I'm like,
I
okay,
gradually
go.
go into the rough stuff.
Oh,
after.
okay.
Yeah, I go
He
from,
eases
like,
on in.
Yeah.
At least y'all
Gospel,
honest.
R&B, and then like whatever comes on, it comes on.
At least y'all honest. Listen, okay. Who complains the most?
Me.
Wow.
I'm glad you're honest on that
I
one.
listen.
I'm glad.
I'm a work in
I'm glad all
progress.
y'all honest. Okay. What was the last text you sent to each other?
Maddie Moss Clark singing in the choir.
Making fun of him about singing gospel music.
Oh yeah.
That was the last one.
Well, I text you, ask you if you.
I have like 100 unread text messages. So
He
I
doesn't
couldn't-
text back. That's the problem.
Listen, I read it.
doesn't.
I might write back and forget to push send.
He won't even open it. He'll just like do the preview, and if he don't want to answer, he won't answer.
You got what, like 30 characters to convince you to open it
Yeah,
up?
if it's a paragraph, I'm stopping after the
No.
first 6 words.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Or if it's like, let me tell you, and he's like, I'm not reading this.
Not
Call
today.
me.
Not today. Call me. See, I don't even answer
No.
the phone.
But I don't like talking on
He's
the phone
the person
either.
that will call you and start a conversation, and then when you divulge into the conversation, then he's like, "All right, so I gotta go," and I'm like, I was like 3 sentences
Me,
in.
No,
I
that-
just
no.
get quiet, and I'm like, what's wrong? I'm just tired, driving home, like just tired. Really don't want to talk on the phone.
Shelly's the
I'd
talker
be the one trying to call everybody and just
for an hour.
ask how their day was.
No. Shelly is the let me call you at 8 o'clock on a Saturday because me and Lyra just up and chilling.
No, it's not called
no.
it's FaceTime.
FaceTime.
I just feel like
Do not
everyone's
disturb.
up.
I
I just
have
feel
my
like
do not
everyone is up
disturb
at that
one.
point.
That's what I'm gonna start doing.
No.
Listen, for the last almost 4 years of my life, I've been up. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like
Me
that's
and
normal
Harper
for everybody.
Kids will keep you up. So one last question, and I'm sure you guys get this question a lot. And this question is, what are you?
I'm black. That's what
I'd say black.
I am biracial. I am Caucasian and I am African American. From what I know.
From what you know.
I
Okay.
mean, you can like look and tell, but if people are, it's more so people are like, "Oh, you mixed, ain't you?" I'm like,
No.
I mean, you can say that, but one drop rule.
And that's what we were raised by.
The one
The
drop
one
rule.
drop
Yeah,
rule.
one drop of black blood, you
We're all
black.
black.
Does that question bother y'all?
Sometimes it's the comments.
It used to bother me in the aspect that it's like there's certain people that people wouldn't walk up to and just ask them, well, what are you? And it's like, what do you mean, what am I? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to know a nationality, maybe say it that way, but
Yeah.
to just say, what are you? It kind of makes you like you're not human or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't necessarily like it being asked that way because I've had strangers ask that, and it just isn't cool because I'm like, I mean, you wouldn't ask a Caucasian person wouldn't ask another Caucasian person, what are you?
Yeah.
So
So-
you also got the comment of being Hispanic.
Yeah. Basically, you're Hispanic.
Yeah. You have people come
I
and
actually
speak
get that
Spanish.
more than like, am I black? I get, am I Puerto Rican? Am I Hispanic? I've asked, am I from the Dominican Republic? You know,
Now, I've gotten DR in college. From the
I can
Dominican
see
Republic. No,
Yeah.
I'm not DR. I'm
I
black.
Mine is just, oh, you got good hair. You mixed?
Mm.
I'm like, dang. I mean, all hair is good hair. No hair is bad hair. Like, I can't have curly hair.
So this is interesting. So Nate and Lauren, explain why you identify as black, and then I'll ask Shelly why she identifies as mixed. What was the determining factor?
I guess it was just the way we were raised. It was, my mom looks white. Her dad looks white, but he's black, and my mom's mom is white. So my mom looks white, but she's always claimed being black, and we were raised as being black. So I guess it was just because of what I've always been told.
So how did Shelly miss out on that?
You know what? It was actually more so as I got older. So as I got older, that's when I started more so identifying with every part of who I am. At least, like I said, the parts that I know, of what I am. But I don't feel like you have to X out a certain part of who you are to identify with another part of who you are. And because of that one drop rule, that from my understanding was kind of placed on African Americans that were mixed by white America. So if you were mixed, you couldn't identify with your white side because you weren't pure, you know what I'm saying? Like your blood wasn't pure, so you had to just say you were only black. So I feel like for my family, with them growing up, which just goes back generations, for them only identifying as, well, I'm black, but on the outside, you don't just look black, And so it's like, you shouldn't just only have to identify by that one when clearly on the outside, you don't look black. So it's like, as we grew up, we did grow up with, okay, you're just black, you're black, which until I got older, I did only check the black box on, different like school forms and stuff like that. But like now that I'm older, I do understand my grandmother is a full-blooded white woman. My grandfather is actually biracial. He's not fully black, which part of that we found out through Nathan doing like the genealogy thing. You know what I mean? And so I think it's kind of a disservice to only acknowledge one part of who you are.
I want to talk a little bit about the one drop rule because maybe not a lot of people understand where that comes from. This dates back all the way back to slavery. And slave owners will rape the women and they will have children. But they consider them still property and use the rule that if there's one drop of black blood within them, they're considered black, which they can claim as property and keep them as slaves. So this dates all the way back centuries, back to slavery time, this one drop rule. So I love the way that you broke that down, that you want to acknowledge and honor every part of you, especially your grandmother, knowing that she's fully white.
Mine was just growing up where we're from, it's a small village, everybody's diverse. So it's like, instead of explaining, well, my mom is part black, but she looks white, but my dad is black, but we're mixed. It was like, if you knew my mom, you knew she was black, So it's like, okay, I never like really questioned my mom of, okay, well, why don't I say I'm mixed or whatever? But I just grew up where it's just like, I look at my skin and I'm like, I have melanin, so I'm black. But now as a mom with a daughter that is multicultural, with black, white, and Puerto Rican, and her being lighter skinned, it's, now I have to like actually, I never like not embraced it, but I'm embracing it more because I have to explain to her why her skin is so light compared to, she calls us golden. So if you ask her what she is, she's human, and that's what she'll tell you. So for her to understand at 3, knowing like, okay, well, my yaya, she looks white, but she has black in her, and I have black and I have Puerto Rican. It's like, now I'm like, okay, yes, mommy's mixed too, but you could say I'm black, golden, whatever you want to call it. So it's just growing up, it was never like, I never questioned like standardized tests. I was just like, I'm black, fill it in. And then like as I got older, I was kind of thinking, I was like, well, do I put white too? And I'm like, do I have enough white in me to mark that I'm white and black? So then I never got confused, but it was just like, I know who I am. And so it's just.
But I tried the box one time. I remember, I think it was first grade. It was the CAT test, and I told my mom, I put that I was a mulatto, and she's like, "No, you are black. You put black down." So I guess that's really where it started
I think
from.
we had conversations like that too, where I was like, "Can I check another box?" And
because I would like go back and forth like. I mean, she wouldn't know if I put it on there anyway, because she won't see the test. But I'm just like, growing up, I just consider myself as black.
And we were always raised told that we were 75% black and 25% white. So we always knew we were mixed, but we just took the majority,
took that little quarter and was like, it's not enough to put both down. And then we have cousins that are the complete opposite of us, where
they don't look black.
They don't, not at all. And one will claim like, yes, I'm black, and the other one's like, I'm white. And you're like, but you guys are. Oh, okay. Okay.
I guess it's like us. She's mixed the word black.
That kind of goes along with, how your skin looks can help you with how you identify with other people. Mm-hmm. So if my mom, being a fair-skinned, black woman, if she would have identified herself as a white woman, she could have done that. Mm. But it's like how she felt on the inside was projected more than what she looks like on the outside. Mm. So it's like, I think because of that is why we identified so strongly with our black side, because, if she would have chose to kind of migrate the other way, we would have migrated the other way. First of all, we may not have looked the way that we look because she may have chose to be with someone that looked more like her. Mm-hmm. Versus she, don't kill me because I'm saying this not, but she always felt like the darker that her husband was, the browner her children would be, which would then make it easier for people to identify what her children were, because she had such a hard time with white people feeling like she was too black people feeling like she was too white.
And I think that's where it's going to come in with heart.
So now, it's funny because I always mess with her and I'm like, you try, girl, but now everybody thinks I'm Hispanic or Puerto Rican or something and not black, so you still fail. But, I think that just kind of, we grew up in such a melting pot of a community, which is why I feel as though growing up, it wasn't really anything that was a big topic of conversation, because a lot of families looked like us. It wasn't unheard of for my friends' moms to be white and their dad be black, or whatever, and everybody's light skin. That's the joke about where we live. Everybody looks like us. Everybody's like, so it wasn't a big deal. But as I got older and I started kind of branching out into the workforce and different stuff like that, that's when I got the questions of, well, what are you? What are you mixed with? Why do you, what I'm saying? Like, look at your hair and do this, and so that's when the identity, kind of conversations with the other people, even in my community that I'm close to, came in, and they're like, man, I felt like that too. Man, we had those same conversations. But where we're from, everybody just looks like this.
And mine wasn't until college. Once I went to college.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Did you ever feel as if you had to choose a side?
I didn't feel like I had to choose a side because I just gravitated to people that were of my nature. Mm-hmm. And that was mostly people that go to a Pentecostal black church or the Apostolic church. So going to college, that's the group that I ended up going with. Mm-hmm. And my group was dark-skinned, light-skinned. There were, some Caucasians in the group. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until college where I really had to figure out, okay, now people are saying that I'm black, but I talk white. What do you mean I talk white? What? Mm-hmm. I talk like I have an education, and I'm, so that was a lot of things when I went to college. It's, am I black, but I speak white, and where do I fit? And, I just gravitated to the people that gravitated to me. And
see, that's what I hate about, especially colorism, having conversations about colorism, that people will try to put Black people, African American people in this box, and you have to look a certain way, act a certain way. You not hood enough, you not this enough. And, our blackness is so beautiful that we have a beautiful spectrum. You can be on so many different sides of the spectrum. And who is somebody to say, you not black enough because you talk, they say you talk white. And like, as if talking white equates to, being educated, so I hate when they put people in this box. I'm like, we are not monolithic. Like, we are beautiful. We are all on this spectrum. We come in different shades and colors and hair textures. Like, we're so beautiful. Like, don't put us in this box.
For me, I think that as far as picking a side, I never like growing up picked a side, but with a lot of the stuff that's happened even just in 2020 with, because I've learned a lot about, as an adult, like about people's views about different things, and a lot of that, you know, this year. So there's been like some separations that have happened based off of that. So as far as picking a side, I feel in 2020 I have kind of had to pick a side, but also it's a little bit difficult because, again, my grandmother is a white woman. You know what I mean? One of my aunts that I'm very close to, that we grew up with, is a white woman. And I can honestly say there has never been a time growing up ever, and even as an adult, where I ever felt alienated by them. They never put us in positions, in situations where, you know, we were ostracized, or where people, you know, were mean to us, or they had to, you know, become combative with someone because, you know, they were talking about us. So it's like there are good white people, there's good black people, you know, and there's bad people on both sides. So it's like I've become way more vocal about, you know, how I feel about injustice and things like that, about the black part of me. But I also do acknowledge at the same time that there are people that are directly connected to me that don't fit that profile for the white America that we're seeing that's so, you know, kind of unjust right now. So there's been kind of a divide.
Yeah. And what about you guys?
I'll let you go.
Well, he already answered.
Can you restate your question? Because she like go off topic.
Shelly goes
Do I have
around.
to pick a side? No, I don't think anymore. With I never would say like I picked a side. It was just I grew up more, so like embracing more of my black side, because it's like seeing my dad, dark skinned man, and then my mom is like, when I look at my mom, I don't see a white woman. So it's just like, my mom is my mom.
I don't see a white woman either now. I just got so used to it.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't want to pick sides, because now, like, I look at Lyric, and I'm like, Lyric's a little brown girl, and then I have Harper, who, she has black features, but her skin is really light, so it's like, if I pick a side, then it's like, well, do I embrace, like, the color of Harper's skin side, or do I embrace, like, the black side? So now, as an adult now, I'm here. So, go ahead.
It's not even that I pick a side. You know, working in the schools, it's about code switching. And you know how to behave in certain atmospheres. So when I'm with the Smith side of the family, I'm a little bit more bubbly and, you know,
and just
the black culture.
Let out. Like,
but if
let
I'm with my
loose.
mom's side, I know certain things I can't do, like I shouldn't say, because that's not how her culture and that side of our family has been.
If you say a certain thing and they say it back, you're going to be like, whoa.
What did you just say?
Hold on, don't say that. I understand we're family, but let's tone that down a little
Just
bit.
cross that
What was sound that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes there is a fine line, even within your family, because you have both sides that you interact with, and it's like, yeah, we're cool, but...
Or family
You know
events
what I mean?
where, like, the light side hangs out with people that are, like, I don't want to say racial things or jokes, but it's just like they're so used to saying it, not realizing, like, hello, you see the color of my skin, like, I'm offended, although you said something about a Mexican, like, she got some Mexican side in her family, like, that's hurtful. You just don't say things like that, and then they don't realize what they say, so we're kind of, like, reserved, like, where did you go?
And then think we got attitude problem.
Yeah, and we're like, yeah, no, we'll see you guys later, because I'm uncomfortable. It's like, I guess I would say I'm more so comfortable with, like, my dad's side of the family rather than, like, my mom's side. I'm comfortable with them, but, like, the people they hang around is what makes me uncomfortable. But my family doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. Like Nate said, I know what to say, when to say, I know how far to go, I know when to stop.
So you all mentioned your children. So Shelly and Lauren have two beautiful daughters, and they are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. How have you started having conversations about race with your children, with your girls?
I've had to, was kind of forced with her, because she'll come up and be like, Mommy, I don't look like you. I look like Yaya. So then that's when I'm like, Mom, I don't know how to explain this to her. you know what it was like growing up, getting made fun of for being lighter skinned, but you're black. And so I'm sitting here like, okay, Harper Pops, he's black. Yeah, she's black and white. But then they had us, and now we're light skinned because we're a mixture of them. And she's just like, huh? And so my mom's like trying to explain to her. She's like, okay. She's like, you're Puerto Rican. She's like, okay. She's like, you're white. She's like, all right. She's like, and you're black. Mommy's tan. That means she has black in her. She's like, I have some white, and then Pops is dark skinned. So he's black. She's like, okay. So we're trying to teach her, like, all around, like, you can claim to be multiracial, you can claim to be black, whatever. It's just know what you are. And so at the end of the day, Harper, what are you? And nobody prompted her, I'm human. But where I'm still pushing, like, yes, you're human, but also as you get older, people ask, are you mixed? Yes, I'm multicultural. This is what I'm mixed with. This is what my mom is. This is what my dad is. And she's like, okay. So it's tough, especially like she sees Lyric skin and she's like, well, Lyric is brown and I'm white. And I'm like, but you're not white. Your skin is just lighter. And then trying to explain to her, I'm like, it gets emotional because it's just like, you understand, but you don't. And so living in today's world is just, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
To explain it.
I think with Lyric, she does. I think there's certain times where she does realize that she is browner than us, because out of our immediate family, she is the brownest, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, she gets chocolate.
Lyric gets chocolate.
Well,
So I don't ever
the lightest one.
And so so in her dad's family, she's one of the lighter ones, but in our family, she's one of the darker skinned ones. So it's like I think for her, I just want her to be comfortable just with whichever side of her family she's with, that she identifies with all of them. Because Lyric and Harper are only 27 days apart, there's going to be a lot of times where they will be together. And I think for me, Lyric, if I ask her right now, what color are you? She'll say whatever color shirt she has on. So she doesn't understand that part right now. But I know there was we were playing outside in the pool once, and they were mentioning, man, Lyric, you got a tan, like you got brown, girl. And her face kind of like got really somber, and she kind of put her head down, and I was like, but that's okay. I was like, you are beautiful. I said, your brown skin is beautiful. And then she was just like, okay.
No.
But
she started crying, saying,
no,
I'm not.
At first she did cry, and she said, I'm not. And the more that all of us, then we're like, no, like you are beautiful. And so I think I kind of realized then that those conversations are going to be really important for her, just because she does, in the sense of her skin color, she looks a little bit different. And so I don't want her to, not identify with like my mom, with Harper, even to the effect of, if Lyric and Harper, as they get older and they go somewhere together, their experiences in that particular place could be very different. And it's almost like there's conversations that I may have to have with Lyric that Lauren may not have to have with Harper. And even though they look at each other, and they look at each other as the same and they're equal, it's almost like though those kind of tough conversations will have to be had as they get bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wow, this is so good. This is so good. I remember having the conversation with Soraya about race and her skin tone. If she's with me, they think her dad's white. If she's with her dad, they think the mom's that I'm white. But she takes her skin color from both of my mom and my mother-in-law. She's very light. She has really curly hair. So she looks mixed, but she's not.
And y'all mentioned that mom is the black one and dad was the white one.
Right.
Literally. He was the president of a white fraternity.
He was the first black president.
The first black president of a white fraternity.
At IUS, or Indiana University Bloomington.
I thought your dad was a Sigma.
No, he's a Pi Kappa Phi.
Why did I think he was a Sigma?
I wish.
Maybe
I could learn how to step and did a probate and cross the line and all that stuff.
I don't know why I thought he was a Sigma.
No, my dad was honky tonk. Let's have a barn
country
party.
Music.
Oh, that's
Really?
another
Yes.
story. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's some stories that we have.
Maybe
Like
even cut
Raymond
up hot
tells
dogs
me,
and call
pull
it
my
cowboy
sister
food.
Jackie out rather than my brother Nate when I need to get to the bottom of something. I'm like, listen, Nate's resting well in me, okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought he was a Sigma.
No, Daddy wasn't that smooth. Daddy wasn't that smooth.
He had no rhythm, so he had to go to the leadership fraternity.
Well, let me tell you what I can do for you.
Not the leadership fraternity.
They used to call him Professor.
Really?
Because he spoke eloquently.
So eloquently.
Literally.
People would like call the house, and my dad would talk to them, and then they would meet him, and they would be like, "Oh my God, I didn't even know that you were a black man."
Or
And
vice
he would be-
versa.
Well, wait, but he would be like, and my mom was like, "That is not a compliment. That is not a compliment."
white, Jackie.
I always wanted to be.
Oh
You know,
my
so my mom,
God.
she would
Like my
check-
dad
she
had
would
the white
check it.
friends in school.
He
Like,
had black friends too.
but more so his childhood growing up, like if he
But-
were still alive to this day, him
But that's
and Kate.
because they bust. That was when they did the busing in Terre Haute to integrate schools.
I was gonna say that's that Terre Haute.
Yeah, so he was bused to South Vigo High School. So
Wow. What advice would you give biracial men and women, young boys and girls who are struggling with their identity?
You can't change it. Don't, if you don't have to, don't pick a side. I know there's like some like white single moms with mixed kids, so it's more so like, well, let me go with the white side because that's all I know. But then there's also like, you're missing a part of you. It's like, all I know is my white side, or vice versa. It's like, you know, I want to meet the other side of my family, but will I be accepted? You're always going to be accepted in like your parents' eyes, obviously, but just love yourself, embrace yourself, and educate yourself all the way around. Especially like when it comes to your family, like grandparents on both sides, educate yourself of your family and talk to others if you're struggling with knowing who you are.
my advice would be to learn the culture. Yes, you might be black and you might be white, but when you think about Caucasian, that came from Caucasia, Germany, or somewhere, because that was where they believe the most beautiful people came from. Understand where your culture comes from and embrace that. And you can merge your cultures and make it with however you want it to see fit in your family. And that's something that we have not had the opportunity to do. I just recently got into the DNA stuff and looking at where the white was and where the black was. But once you learn how to embrace the cultures of what the white and the black mean, then I think that you get a better understanding of who you are and where you come from. And then you can celebrate both sides and not feel like, if I celebrate the white side, it means I hate the blacks and the
I'm
blacks hate
too
the
white
whites.
for the
Right.
black side, or I'm too black for the white
Yeah.
side.
I would say to kind of piggyback on that, yeah, don't let anyone make you feel like you have to choose. You know, don't let anyone make you feel like if you feel that you want to identify more with one side than the other, that you're wrong for that. Because you're not. You know, some people may just gravitate more towards one side or the other. I would say just, like they said, embrace just who you are as a whole. You know, if you want to say that you're biracial, multiracial, what have you, do that. You know, and don't let anyone make you feel guilty for that. You know, but if you feel like, hey, I look black, I'm a black person,
I'm gonna be
don't
black
ask me
today.
any questions.
I'm
Be
black
that.
today, mixed tomorrow.
You know, yeah,
Don't ask me about the next day.
you know, be that. But just love who you are. You know, embrace who you are, love who you are. You know, if you have children, educate them about every part of you, which then is every part of them. You know, and just have fun while you do it.
Absolutely.
And don't be silent. Don't be silent.
This was so good. Thank you guys for coming and
Thank you
sharing
for
your
letting us,
story.
I never get to do stuff like this, so I feel important.
Oh, you are important.
You should send some of my music.
Tell the people what your shirt say.
Mine says beautifully mixed.
And mine says mixed masterpiece. So the next time somebody asks you what you are, just tell them you're a mixed masterpiece.
Or just
love it.
beautifully mixed.
And I'm yellow sprinkled with a little bit of white.
Because they're light skin, okay? Because they're light skin, okay?
Nate is crazy. crazy. But thank you all for joining us this evening for another episode of The Room, and I'll see you on next week. Bye.